The starship Eternal Wisdom drifted silently through the void, its advanced sensors constantly sweeping the darkness for anything of interest. Lieutenant Ta sat at his monitoring station, his 6 fingers moving gracefully across the control panel. The quiet hum of the ship's systems was interrupted by a sudden alert chime. Ta's eyes widened as he studied the readings. "Commander Kim," he called, "I'm detecting unusual energy patterns from Sector 87 Delta." Commander Kim moved across the bridge, her green scales catching the soft blue light of the command center. She was small compared to others of her species, but her reputation for intelligence and quick decision-making had earned her respect throughout the galactic hierarchy. "Show me," she ordered, leaning over Taz's station. The display revealed energy signatures unlike anything they had cataloged before. The pattern suggested advanced technology, but in a region believed to contain only primitive civilizations. "It appears to be coming from the 3rd planet of that yellow star," Tide explained. "The energy output is consistent with early warp technology, but there's something different about it." Kim frowned. According to hierarchy records, the species on that planet had only just begun exploring their own solar system. They shouldn't have technology this advanced for at least another century. "Prepare a scout fleet," she decided. "We'll investigate this anomaly personally." 3 days later, 5 sleek vessels dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the unremarkable solar system. The bridge crew of the Eternal Wisdom stared in amazement at what their sensors revealed. The 3rd planet, a blue-green marble suspended in space, showed clear signs of technological development far beyond what their records indicated. "They've established orbital stations," reported Officer Sun, his antenna twitching with excitement. "And there are hundreds of satellites and small spacecraft in orbit." "Impossible," Kim whispered. "Our last survey showed they had barely reached their moon." The situation became even more perplexing when their sensors detected something massive emerging from what appeared to be an orbital shipyard. The enormous vessel moved with purpose and precision, its hull design unlike anything in the hierarchy database. "We're intercepting communications," said Officer Jin, her 4 eyes blinking rapidly as she processed the information. "They call it the UES Defiant. It appears to be their first deep space battleship." Kim moved closer to the main view screen. "Magnify," she ordered. The image zoomed in on the human vessel. It was bulky compared to the elegant ships of the hierarchy, with what appeared to be multiple redundant systems and heavy armor plating. Most concerning were the various protrusions and arrays that dotted its hull, many bearing the distinctive energy signatures of weapon systems. How could they advance so quickly? Kim wondered aloud. The last survey was only 70 years ago. No species develops this rapidly. Officer Sun studied his readings carefully. "Commander, I'm detecting unusual radiation shielding and gravitational compensation systems. The design suggests they evolved on a high-gravity world with significant radiation exposure. A death world species," Kim realized. This was rare and potentially troubling. Species that evolved in harsh environments typically develop different technological paths, often more focused on defense and survival than the elegant efficiency prized by the hierarchy. "Should we withdraw and report back?" asked Ta. Kim considered this for a moment before shaking her head. "No, the hierarchy protocols are clear. We observe first, then make contact when we understand what we're dealing with." For the next 2 days, the alien fleet watched the human battleship from a safe distance as it conducted what appeared to be testing maneuvers around the outer planets of the system. The more they observed, the more puzzled they became. "Their ship design makes no sense," Sun reported. "Multiple redundant systems, compartmentalized sections, excessive shielding. They're building as if they expect to take heavy damage." Kim watched the Defiant execute a perfect maneuver around one of the gas giants. "Perhaps that's exactly what they expect," she said quietly. "A species that evolved in harsh conditions might view the universe as equally hostile." What Commander Kim didn't realize was that the Defiant had detected their presence almost immediately upon their arrival in the system. Behind the scenes, human commanders were carefully tracking the alien vessels, analyzing their capabilities, and preparing for every possible scenario, including first contact with a potentially hostile alien force. As Kim finally gave the order to move closer and initiate contact, Captain Park of the Defiant was already watching and waiting, her ship's weapons quietly charging. The alien scout fleet maintained a cautious distance as they observed the human battleship during its shakedown cruise. Commander Kim watched from the bridge of the Eternal Wisdom as the massive vessel performed a series of complex maneuvers around the sixth planet of the system, a ringed gas giant. Their piloting skills are impressive, noted Officer Ta. That ship is twice the size of our largest cruiser, yet they handle it with remarkable precision. Science Officer Sun hadn't left his station in over 12 hours. He meticulously recorded every detail about the human vessel, his fingers dancing across his control panel as he compiled data. "Commander, I've completed my preliminary analysis of their ship design," Sun reported. "I find it perplexing." Kim turned to face him. "Explain." "They've built with multiple redundant systems for everything. Propulsion, power, life support, even their weapons arrays. If one system fails, two more can take over instantly. Their hull is compartmentalized into sections that can be sealed off. They have shielding layers that seem designed to absorb tremendous damage." Sun looked up from his readings. "It's as if they built this ship expecting to face catastrophic damage." "That seems wasteful," Kim replied, her head scales shifting to a thoughtful blue hue. "A more elegant solution would be to avoid damage altogether through superior maneuverability." "Perhaps," Sun agreed, "but these humans appear to favor durability over elegance. Their approach is brutally practical." The communications team had spent days decoding and analyzing intercepted human transmissions. Officer Jin approached the command platform, her antenna vibrating with excitement. "Commander, I've discovered something remarkable about these humans," she announced. "They evolved on what our classification system would consider a death world: high gravity, extreme weather patterns, periodic tectonic disasters, and significant radiation exposure from their star." This information caused a ripple of surprise among the bridge crew. Death world species were rare in the galaxy. Most intelligent life evolved on more hospitable planets. "That explains their physical capabilities," commented Ta. "According to our scans, these humans possess bone and muscle density far greater than most spacefaring species." Kim studied the human battleship on the main view screen. Its design made more sense now. A species that evolved on a world constantly trying to kill them would naturally build starships designed to withstand damage rather than avoid it. "What about their weapon systems?" Kim asked. Sun checked his readings. "Hard to say without seeing them in action. Many of what appear to be weapon ports could simply be sensor arrays or communication systems. They certainly have a lot of them. Their technological development is unprecedented," Jin added. "Our records indicate they were barely achieving orbital spaceflight 70 years ago. Now they have a deep space battleship. No other known species has advanced at such a rate." Kim considered this information carefully. The hierarchy had strict protocols for contacting emerging spacefaring civilizations. Typically, they would observe from afar for decades before making themselves known. But these humans were progressing so rapidly that waiting might be unwise. "We should initiate contact now," Kim decided. "Their technology is advanced, but still inferior to ours. We maintain the advantage." What Commander Kim didn't know was that Captain Park of the UES Defiant had been aware of the alien presence from the moment they entered the system. The human vessel's passive scanning systems were far more sensitive than the aliens realized. In the command center of the Defiant, Captain Park studied the holographic display of the alien vessels. Her dark eyes narrowed as she analyzed their movements. "They've been watching us for 3 days," she noted calmly. "What have we learned about them, Lieutenant Lee?" Lee, a compact man with steady hands and a methodical mind, pulled up a detailed analysis on his screen. "Their ships use some form of gravitic drive we haven't seen before. Power output suggests advanced energy management systems. Their hull material is unlike anything in our database. Seems to be a crystalline metallic composite. Weapons? Park asked. Hard to say without seeing them in action, Lee replied. They have what appear to be energy projection arrays, but they could be something else entirely. What's interesting is their defensive systems seem minimal compared to ours. Park nodded thoughtfully. They build like a species that's never faced true existential threats. Beautiful ships with perfect efficiency, but little redundancy. She turned to her communications officer. They're moving closer. I believe they're finally ready to say hello. The alien fleet began a careful approach toward the human battleship. Commander Kim prepared to broadcast first contact protocols, confident in their technological superiority and diplomatic experience. Neither side fully understood what they were about to encounter. The aliens didn't realize they faced a species forged in the crucible of a harsh world, always preparing for the worst. And the humans, despite their caution, couldn't anticipate how their very existence would challenge everything the galactic hierarchy thought they knew about technological development. As the distance between the two fleets decreased, both commanders prepared for a historic moment, unaware that a simple misunderstanding was about to turn first contact into a demonstration of power that would shock the galaxy. The Defiant's response was swift and precise. A series of brilliant blue energy pulses shot from the human battleship, each one targeted with perfect accuracy. They struck the alien vessel's weapon systems without damaging their engines or life support. Commander Kim gripped her command chair as her ship shuddered. The lights flickered momentarily before the backup systems engage. Status report, she demanded. Officer Ta worked frantically at his console. Weapons systems disabled on all vessels. No casualties. Hull integrity at 92%. How? Kim whispered. How did they target so precisely? Science Officer Sun stared at his readings in disbelief. Commander, their weapon technology. It shouldn't exist. The energy signatures suggest directed plasma technology that our models predicted wouldn't be developed for at least another century. On the main screen, the human battleship hung against the starfield, weapon ports still glowing with energy. The message was clear. They could have done much worse. Open communications, Kim ordered, her voice steadied, despite her shock. Captain Park's face appeared on the view screen. Her expression was stern, but not hostile. This is Commander Kim of the Galactic Hierarchy Scout Fleet. We apologize for the unprovoked attack. It was a grave misunderstanding. We request immediate cessation of hostilities. Park studied the alien commander for a moment before responding. Your ships are disabled but intact. That was intentional. We have no desire for conflict, but we will defend ourselves if necessary. Kim bowed her head slightly. We understand. May I suggest a diplomatic meeting to resolve this misunderstanding? 30 minutes later, Commander Kim stood in the Defiant's conference room. The gravity was slightly stronger than she was accustomed to, reminding her that these humans came from a high-gravity world. Captain Park sat across the table, flanked by her senior officers. Let me be direct, Park began. Your fleet was detected the moment you entered our system. We've been monitoring your communications for weeks. Kim's scales rippled with surprise. That's impossible. Our communications are encrypted. Not well enough, interrupted Lieutenant Lee. He placed a data pad on the table, displaying intercepted transmissions from the alien fleet. We decoded your language matrix within the first 3 days. Kim looked at the data in astonishment, but that would require computational power far beyond what you thought we possessed. Park finished for her. Yes, we've noticed the hierarchy has a tendency to underestimate species it considers young. Sun, who had accompanied Kim to the meeting, couldn't contain his scientific curiosity. Your weapon systems, the technology is far more advanced than anything we expected. How did you develop so quickly? Park exchanged glances with her officers before answering. Necessity. Our species evolved in harsh conditions. Earth is beautiful but dangerous. High gravity, extreme weather, tectonic instability, radiation from our sun. Survival required rapid adaptation and technological advancement. When we looked to the stars, she continued, we didn't just see wonder and opportunity. We saw potential threats. The Defiant was designed with one purpose: to ensure humanity's survival in a universe filled with unknowns. Kim listened with growing understanding. And what you consider basic safety features, we saw as excessive military preparation. Precisely, Park nodded. What you call redundant systems, we call common sense. No human engineer would build a starship without multiple backup systems for every critical function. Sun was examining a technical readout that had been provided. These hull plates, they're designed to absorb and redistribute energy from weapons fire. Standard construction, Lee shrugged. All our ships have similar protection. Kim was beginning to grasp the magnitude of her misjudgment. A species that evolved on a world that constantly threatened them would naturally build their technology with survival as the primary consideration. There's something else you should understand, Park said, leaning forward. What you saw today was restraint. The Defiant carries weapon systems we didn't activate. The statement hung in the air like a physical presence. Kim didn't doubt its truth. The hierarchy has encountered many spacefaring species, Kim said finally, but never one from a world like yours. Our protocols assumed technological progression follows a standard pattern. We were wrong. Park's expression softened slightly. We don't want war, Commander. Humanity is eager to join the galactic community, but we will do so as equals, not as subjects. After today's demonstration, Kim replied, I don't think anyone in the hierarchy would question your right to equal standing. As the meeting continued, Kim realized that this first contact had fundamentally changed her understanding of how different species might approach space exploration. The elegant efficiency prized by the hierarchy was just one path. The humans had taken another, born of harsh necessity and an uncompromising drive to survive. Captain Park, Kim said, I believe this misunderstanding could be the beginning of a valuable alliance, if you're willing. Park smiled for the first time since they'd met. That, Commander, is exactly what we're hoping for. 2 weeks after the confrontation, Commander Kim stood on the observation deck of the Defiant, watching as the blue-green planet called Earth grew larger in the view screen. Captain Park stood beside her, pointing out features of her homeworld with obvious pride. The largest landmass is called Asia, Park explained. The smaller one to the left is North America, where our primary space command is located. Kim marveled at the planet's beauty, but also noted the swirling storm systems and active volcanic regions visible even from orbit. Earth truly was a world of extremes. Those defense platforms, Kim said, indicating the orbital structures they were passing. There must be hundreds of them. Park nodded. 512, to be exact. Each one capable of defending a quadrant of space if needed. Against what enemy? Kim asked. Before us, you had no contact with alien life. Against the unknown, Park replied simply. Humanity has learned to prepare for threats before they materialize. The Defiant glided past a massive orbital shipyard where 3 vessels similar to the Defiant were under construction. Kim tried to imagine what the Hierarchy Council would think when they received her full report. A species from a death world, advancing at an unprecedented rate, with defensive and weapons technology that rivaled or exceeded their own. The diplomatic team has made remarkable progress, Park commented, changing the subject. Ambassador Choi speaks highly of your delegate Yoon. Kim's scales shifted to a pleased purple. Yoon is one of our finest diplomats. I understand they've already drafted preliminary agreements. Yes, Park confirmed. Trade protocols, cultural exchange programs, and mutual defense understandings, the foundation of a true alliance. Earlier that day, Kim had toured the Defiant's crew quarters and training facilities. She had been astonished by the physical capabilities of the human crew. During a demonstration, she watched as human engineers lifted equipment that would require mechanical assistance for most hierarchy species. Their endurance, strength, and resistance to radiation and pressure changes were remarkable. My superiors have reviewed my initial reports, Kim said carefully. They're extremely interested in forming a close relationship with humanity. Park smiled. I sense there's more to that statement. Kim nodded. The Hierarchy Council wishes to offer Earth immediate membership in the galactic hierarchy. Usually, there's a probationary period of at least 30 cycles, but they're willing to waive that requirement. Because of our defensive capabilities, Park stated. It wasn't a question. Partially, Kim admitted. Your technology would be valuable to the hierarchy, but also because of your unique perspective. You approach problems differently than any species we've encountered. Park was quiet for a moment, watching as they passed over the night side of Earth, city lights forming glowing webs across the continents below. Humanity appreciates the offer, she said finally. But we're interested in friendship, not servitude. We will join the galactic community as equals, or not at all. Of course, Kim said quickly. Full membership carries equal standing. Park turned to face the alien commander directly. Does it? Or would Earth be expected to contribute our technology while following hierarchy protocols and directives? Kim's scales shifted to an embarrassed blue. The captain had seen through the diplomatic language to the heart of the hierarchy's interest. I cannot speak for the council, Kim said honestly, but I can tell you what I've learned these past weeks. Humanity would be a difficult species to direct. You are better as allies than subjects. Park smiled. Now that is a foundation we can build upon. Later that day, the Defiant docked with Earth's primary space station. The first formal delegation from the galactic hierarchy prepared to set foot on human territory. News broadcasts around the world carried images of the alien ships escorted by Earth's flagship. In a private meeting room, Captain Park met with Earth's Security Council before the formal reception. Are they a threat? Asked one of the council members bluntly. Not anymore, Park replied. They came expecting to find a young, developing species they could guide or control. They found instead a civilization ready to stand as equals, and they've accepted this reality. Park thought of Commander Kim, who had evolved from a condescending observer to a respectful ally in just 2 weeks. Some have, she said. Others will follow. The demonstration of our capabilities made an impression. Across the galaxy, reports spread about the newly discovered humans. The messages described a species from a hostile world who had built starships of unprecedented power despite their youth. The final report Commander Kim sent to the Hierarchy Council ended with words that would echo through galactic political circles for years to come. Approach with respect, not condescension. The humans prepare for the worst but hope for the best, and they are more than capable of dealing with either outcome. In them, we have found not the students we expected, but the partners we needed. On Earth, humans looked to the stars with new understanding. They were not alone, and their hard-won strength had earned them a place of respect among the stars.